is an important part, of course, of ensuring that the country does not burn.
Yes.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we seem to remember 2007 much clearer than 2013. 2013, despite the fact that there was a dispute even in the presidential race, seems to have faded off compared to 2007.
Yeah. From where I stand, I think really we need to ensure that we don't act on that implicit message by Kalonzo Musyoka yesterday and the entire NASA brigade.
That they may have to call for mass action.
They may have to call for mass action, because mass action will then necessarily lead to destruction of property and possibly loss of life, because then there's a reaction either from the security forces or from the other people.
And also you have people who take advantage of the mass action.
Absolutely, to loot property.
Yeah.
My emphasis is that as a country with a fairly new constitution, we need to learn what the late Professor Okoth Ogendo said, a constitution with constitutionalism. Constitutionalism means that we need to build that environment to realize prosperity without necessarily harming each other. Is that we need to ensure that we have a society which is governed by democracy, a rule of law, and of course we need to ensure social justice. What you are witnessing now in terms of the democratic transition, what you're witnessing now is a democratic transition process, which is heavily dependent on other requirements such as the rule of law, and of course, accountability and transparency and all that. So what I want to emphasize is that Kenyans should really rethink this message. Our constitution, the third preamble of our constitution, and I always emphasize this, that we have peace as a constitutional bearing. The third preamble of our beloved constitution talks about peace and unity in an indivisible nation. So as a country, we should not let a democratic transition process divide us as Kenyans. We need to be ready to accept outcomes. And if there are disputes within that democratic process, we need to ensure that we then go back to the rule of law. We are a country governed by the rule of law. We are not a jungle economy. We have systems that work. We have the court system. And all that.
Which is there. I guess the bloodline comes in between pushing for constitutionality in regards to the right to picket, because that again is a constitutional right. But again, it has been previously associated with violence.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we need to, I think, draw the line. We can picket, we can protest these results in a manner that we want. But let's, under no circumstance, engage in activities which amount to what I call antisocial behavior. For instance, violence, destruction of property, and all that. So it's absolutely critical, and for me, I will then call upon the NASA brigade. Why can't we allow the IEBC system to complete the verification process? And if we have evidence, any cogent evidence as to the interference of the IEBC database by external people, people not within the IEBC, for purpose of altering and interfering with the election results, then we need to ensure that that outcome resulting from that particular process is challenged in court. So what is important for NASA to come out and tell Kenyans is that indeed they believe in the rule of law, and they want to ensure that any decision which does not reflect the will of the people of Kenya is challenged in the appropriate institutions. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then we will be building a society which will not be sustainable insofar as the transition from one government to the other is concerned. And then we will be going the opposite of what the late Professor Okoth Ogendo was advocating for, that is having a constitution with some element of constitutionalism. So I think we really need to focus on that issue. So I'm not surprised that people are coming out to call for peace, because we have learned as a society from the experience of 2007 that violence can really devastate our economy, and it can left wounds which can never heal amongst the victims.
Absolutely. Well, this is Kivumbi 2017. We are taking a short break, but do stay with us. Kivumbi 2017 continues in just a bit.